Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back for another review of Sister Wives Season 13. The best thing that could ever have happened to the OG three children was their family moving to Vegas. These kids were sheltered for a long time, and their exposure to various people and cultures and beliefs, the exposure that they received while they were in Vegas, in my opinion, has allowed them to come into their own. These kids seem to have a firmer grasp on reality. The exposure has allowed them to get out of that polygamy bubble that was set forth for them. And as a result, we've seen the maturity of these younger adults as they're now on our screens. That is why, in my opinion, Robin wanted to get her kids out of the city. I know that it may seem like it was other reasons, but to me, I think that Robin realized that the longer that they were there, the more her kids would be influenced. And in my opinion, the one that she needs to be on the lookout for is Brianna. But let me get off of that and let's get into this. So do me a favor, like the video, let's go. It's 1 week before the family is moving. Janelle still, as she's saying it's 1 week until they move, has pictures all up over the walls. There are things that are in place that to me should have already been down, wrapped up, packed up, whatever. They've invited Maddie, Caleb, and Axel over for dinner. Cody lets us know that one of the main reasons that he asked them to come over is because of Axel. I'm like, okay, that can't be the only reason, because obviously you could have went to go visit them because they're directly, 2 streets up from them. Don't act like you care about seeing him now and spending time with him now. And as I was thinking, I was like, man, I cannot believe that we've gone from this to where now in recent interviews, as recently as a year ago, I don't even think it's been a year yet, Maddie had said that Axel does not even know who Cody is. He doesn't remember him. That says a lot. So Janelle is, looking at the different things that they have, and she's realizing that there's something that she's missing for dinner. And Cody jokes about how, you better take advantage of the fact that you can go to your neighbors right now and ask them for something as simple as pickles, because they're right there. The family is right there. And we find out they had no walls put up as a way to keep things open, as a way for the kids to, easily access each other's backyards and things of that nature. Janelle talks about how she's going to miss simple things like the fact that Savannah can, go over to Christine's every morning like she does now to get her hair done. And it just shows you how much that Savannah is losing. Savannah and Maddie were the only girls in the home. And now it's just, going to be Savannah. And she's not even going to have access to the other girls like she would before, where she could just go and see them, because now they're going to be further away. So it's just like, okay, this is little item after little item after little item. And it may seem like little things, but it does pile up to me and seem like bigger things. So Cody says, I don't think we're going to realize how much of an adjustment that this move will be. And I just hope that the move will be worth the sacrifices. And I think that in watching it now, we all know that it wasn't. Mary told us as soon as they started talking about this and they mentioned it, that one of her biggest concerns is that they're going to be so far apart that it's not going to be good for the family. So did some of the older kids. Why didn't anyone believe Mary or those kids? Why didn't you all understand that this was going to be the beginning of the end? So he hopes that the separation is temporary and that they'll have a perfect life again. So if your life is perfect, Cody, then why do you want to move? Some people feel like it was for the storyline, for the show, to keep things going on. But I feel like it was a combination of all those things. So Maddie and Caleb and Axel arrive. Janelle lets them know that, she's keeping it extra cool in the house because she's trying to prepare herself for the much cooler Flagstaff weather. They joke around about it. Cody says right now it's 72 degrees there. Meanwhile, here in Vegas, it's 106 and 100 and 6 here is like a cool day. They try to convince them that this could be their weather, that 72-degree weather that they're moving into could also be theirs. And I'm listening to them, and I know that it's a joke, but it's a selfish statement to me, because Maddie and her husband came to Vegas to be closer to the family for help and to save money, just for the family to leave. And she pretty much says this later on, but we'll get to it. So Janelle says, in an ideal world, that all of the family and all of the kids would do what they have to do, go to whatever school, and then come back and move to Flagstaff. Cody tries to then convince us that they went from wanting to move because it would help them save money to wanting to move because it's beautiful and the kids will want to be near that too. I am sorry. No, I'm really not sorry. I'm just saying I'm sorry, but I'm really not sorry. But beauty can be found in a lot of other places that are much cheaper than Flagstaff. I see it all the time. I see it where I'm at. As I go from city to city to city in my location, I see the beauty of each city. So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to him and I'm like, okay, you sound stupid saying that you're moving somewhere beautiful. Like you couldn't find somewhere that was more affordable and beautiful. So Caleb says it's beautiful, but I wouldn't move there right now, which implies that there's a possibility of you moving there. And Maddie's like, look, let's get this thing straight here. She doesn't say let's get this straight, but I'm a paraphrase. And she says, it's a dream that is just not going to happen, that there isn't anything in Flagstaff for them, that there are very few job opportunities, and there is just not a place that's really good for their family. And as I hear her saying that, I said, okay, if she's saying that there aren't good job opportunities for them, it makes me wonder if that's something that the Browns ever considered. Because what would their lives be without a TLC check, Robin? What would your lives be if your MLMs don't work out for you? What does that look like when you have to get a regular job in your area? And Maddie is letting us know that for the professions that they're interested in, it's not conducive to what they want to do, which goes back to a lot of people saying that that's more of a vacation spot in the area that they live in, okay? Janelle has gotten used to seeing Axel every day, and now she feels like, she's going to miss him, and she feels like he needs a community and he needs his grandmas and all those other things. And Caleb says, you're the ones that decided to move 4 hours away, not us. And he's right. Maddie says, look, in a confessional, we moved here for them. We told them why we were coming back, because he has a lot of family as well. So they could have moved anywhere, but they moved closer to them because of the fact that there were going to be multiple mobs and all those other things. And she's like, okay, we moved here for you guys. And now here you are and you're moving. And I'm bitter because I moved here to be closer to family. And as she said it, I said, Maddie's saying things without saying things. Reading between the lines, they uprooted their lives. Yes, it was beneficial for them to stay with Janelle for that period of time, which I think it was like a year. It allowed them to get back on their feet. It helped him out with his health issues and things of that nature. Allowed Maddie to, adjust to being a mom and things of that nature. But you're leaving them. They even purchased a home down the street just for you, or rented a home down the street just for you to leave them. She goes, my parents move around a lot and I'm not following them around the country. I'm going to do what's best for my family. And I said, good for you, Maddie. Way to show how intelligent you are. So like Aspen, she feels like this won't be the final destination for her parents because they get bored really easily, and whether they want to admit it or not, it's just what they do. She says, if you ask one of them, they're all going to point fingers at the next person, but they all get bored. The only person that I feel like wants to stay put in Flagstaff at this point out of my parents is the bird. Well, she says Robin, but it's the bird. Cody says, it's funny Madison thinks that I like to move a lot. So do all of your other wives and your children. This isn't just the Madison thing. He claims, I just moved because I like to advance my position. What position? What job do you have that advances your position? Your wives have carried you on their back for several years. And as far as I'm concerned, when your own wife or ex-wife, Christine, doesn't know what it is that you do, I don't think that you really work. I don't think that you really have a job. I think that you like to act like you're a part of your best friend, Brian, or whatever his name's business, but you're really not. You just may be a part of it in name. I don't think you really do anything. Y'all correct me down below. He adds that he moves to places where things are better for them than Janelle. Because as I said before, Janelle's going to upset me in a couple of episodes, it seems like. She wants to be super save a hoe. She wants to stand by her man. Y'all, my voice is still not back. I knew it was going to sound bad, but I didn't know that it was going to sound that bad. So if I broke any glass around your house, I apologize. Send it the feed to YouTube because I don't get paid enough to fix it. That came out so bad when it came out. And I'm like, oh, y'all know I don't edit, so sorry. So she tries to tell us that what the kids don't understand is when they move sometimes that is also to save them money too. Lady, okay. You all said that the point of this move is to save money. And it makes no sense because you're not saving any money. She feels like they haven't seen the whole picture. And I'm like, yes, they have, because these kids are smarter than you. They are. Let's be clear, they are. Here you are. You say that you want to make this move now because of the triplets. Then later on in the episode, you say that it's going to take at least 2 years for you all to build on the property. At this point, they don't even know if they can build, what they can build, how much of a structure they can build, any of that stuff. But you're coming to the conclusion that it's going to be 2 years, which at this point we know it's not. But let's go with the whole 2-year thing. Why not stay there in Vegas for those 2 years and allow the kids to stay where they're at, to finish at the school that they're at? Since we keep talking about the triplets, which someone put in the comment section are really twins that Robin made a triplet. Why, if that's the case, why don't we stay there, build up the houses, and not go and rent a property and pay on this property until we actually have something there? To me, that would have made more sense than getting a rental and staying in that rental and not. Yeah, they could have sold the houses, but it took them forever to do that too. So just stay there and allow your house to get more equity. I'm just saying. Even if all of them didn't do it, he stopped seeing the kids at some point anyway, so just go ahead and stay. Okay, back to this. So it's the last day in Vegas. The bird is focused on getting everything in the truck. Janelle rather just chuck stuff. I don't blame her. Cody gathers everyone, and Christine announces that they hope to move into the house and that she's 80% sure that she'll close by August 10th. Where did she pull the 80% from? First question. Second of all, why is she making this announcement? She's going to look for a rental just in case. It's 24 hours before you leave, if they're editing this right. Why are you announcing that you hope to be closed on this date? Either production needs to do better with this edit, or you need to stop announcing things without knowing for sure whether or not it's going to pan out. Because I'm listening and I'm like, have you all not learned anything? So they discuss what the move is going to look like as far as unloading. I don't understand why this wasn't discussed a month ago. The plan is to go to each house one by one and unload. They'll start with his favorite, the bird. So by the time they get to the other houses, it will be like house by house by house by house. When I first heard him say, okay, if you're going to start with the bird, then there's no way that the other people are going to be able to get anything done. But thankfully to Maddie and her smarts, they're able to, but we'll get to it. So we find out that the family buys an entire cow, and then gets it sent to a butcher and they trim and package that meat, which means they currently have freezers full of meat. If you all knew that you were going to be moving, why did we put in this meat order? I'm just trying to figure it out. Because to me, if I know I'm moving, then one of the things that I do is I don't continue to shop in bulk because I don't want to have to worry about the headache of refrigeration and purchasing dry ice and all these other things to be in transit. I just want to be able to pack up what I pack up. Maybe I got to pack up a whole box of seasonings or something like that, but I don't want to have to worry about all these food items. We're not going to be eating the same way that we normally eat for these next few weeks because we got to make sure that we finish this cow. Like, I would be doing that. But that's not what they do. So they have 600 pounds of meat that they have to pack up. Cody thinks it's going to take an hour to pack up each truck. Mary, who is far more organized than most of them, looks at Cody and says, an hour to load this house into a truck? Basically, like, yeah, right. It's going to take way more than an hour. The bird is on the other side of Cody, and she's shaking her head no and making faces like, you know the bird's faces. I can't do it. Something like this where she closes her eyes a little bit. Because she doesn't see it happening in an hour either. And he lets us know that he doesn't need everybody else's opinion right now. He just needs everybody to shut up. Oh, let me add that Christine agreed with him and said she thinks it could be done. But let's get back to the part where he says he wants everybody to shut up. Cody could not be my man because I would end up decking him. Violence is not the answer, but Cody does things too many times where he says and does things that will probably have me being violent. Don't keep disrespecting me like that. Okay, so Gabe is told by Janelle that everything needs to come out of his room. She's at a standstill as far as her packing up the truck goes until she has his furniture. So for now, they agree that his furniture will come out of his room, that he's going to pack up the rest of the stuff when he comes back because he needs to go for like an hour or two to work. Then at one point is to go drop off a friend. Either way, he wanted to go do some things, I think, to say goodbye to his friends. And then he'll come back and he'll finish his room because at this point, he's packed nothing. That would be a problem for me because I understand that he's upset. He's trying to make a point. He doesn't want to do the move. He has his own plans, but some things could have been done. Some. He still doesn't think that it's logical for them to move because it costs more money. And he says, my parents just keep saying like they want to escape the Vegas mentality or whatever. And with Gabe, whatever. I'm telling you, these kids saw through this mess that the parents were trying to sell them. He says, my parents don't understand that they have kids that are city slickers, unlike them who like to live in small towns. And I feel like they do understand it. They just didn't care. Janelle says when it comes to Gabe, it's hard because she doesn't want to make him feel bad, but he's pretty much been kind of worthless for the move. When she said worthless, I got a little irritated, if I'm being honest. I felt like she had the wrong choice of words. Stubborn, yes. Dragging his feet, yes. Not helpful. Lazy. Dreading the fact that they're going to move. Maybe even a little depressed about it, yes. But I did not like the fact that she said worthless. She says he'll say that he's going to do stuff, but then he doesn't really do stuff. I think he's dealing with mood depression. And I said, duh, he's hurting. Yes, he's dealing with mood depression, but let's be clear. As your parent, if I tell you that you need to start packing up your room, you got to give me a little bit here. Just a little bit. Because you're capable of packing a box or two here and there rather than doing absolutely nothing. That's taking a little bit too far, Gabe. I can't defend you all the way when you're not doing anything. So Gabe admits he hasn't done much because the house that they're renting is furnished. So he just wants to go and pick up his friend, take him somewhere and come back. Meanwhile, Janelle is saying that, you want to go and do this, but I need you to hurry up and come back because at this point, you're my biggest helper. And as she's saying this, I want to know, where's Cody? The bird says, it's frustrating, but they need to give Gabe some room just to, be quietly resisting the situation. We then see 2 hours later and Gabe is still gone. Cody says he needs him to rise to the occasion. He says Gabe wants to be treated like a man, but right now he's behaving like a little boy. And I said, Cody of all people would know this because Cody behaves like a little boy too. So they're in the same boat. So they're still unloading trucks or loading trucks. Robin isn't close to being finished, but her truck is almost full. That is like, 3,000 square feet of home? Of course one truck is full. I have way less than that of apartment, significantly less in that apartment. And I know that my apartment would require a full truck. So if a hoarder like Robin, with the amount of square footage that she has, because we hear that her new rental is twice the size of what she currently has, and her new rental is like 6,000 and something square feet. I'm gonna say that what she has now is 3,000 square feet. She's a hoarder with 3,000 square feet to put stuff in. Then of course she's gonna need more than a truck. Mary says she isn't really feeling this whole thing. She's agreeing to go, but she feels like them being separated is going to be a problem. So she's trying to prepare herself for it. Bird says, I'm looking at this and it's just hard to say goodbye to our homes, our family, and our friends in Vegas. One minute she feels like they're stupid for leaving, and then another she feels like this is the best thing that they could do. Christine agrees that she's felt that way. It's been up and down over the past several months, to the point where she goes, us moving, what a mistake. Why are we doing this? It seems spontaneous and too fast, yet it feels right. And the way she said it, I want to know if she really believed the crap that she was saying. I would love for Christine to do a reaction to these things, because these are the things that we really want to know. Because I feel like she was saying it to make herself believe it, but I don't think she really meant it. Cody says, we put everything into Coyote Pass, so failure isn't an option. And I have a question. You guys let me know down below in the comment section. Knowing what we know now, do we think that they failed? It's 9 a.m. They're still loading. Caleb, Mitch, Aspen, and Maddie are helping them move, even though their husbands have to work in the morning. Cody lets us know that his kids have to also register for school the following day. He goes, and I'm emotional. I'm emotional about leaving my beautiful homes. Actually, he said my beautiful home, not homes. So does he not know he has 4 homes, not one? Number one. And number two, why are you so emotional about it when this is what you wanted? Cody comes over to Janelle's to try to get Savannah to go and help Mary, and finds out that Gabe isn't there, which upsets him because, in his words, he's seen him for 20 minutes today. He's slammed and he's overwhelmed and he just could sit down and cry. Leon and Audrey are there to help, and they plan on going there, helping them, and then heading out on their own because they need to move to Chicago. But Mary needs additional help. And as I'm watching all of this, I'm realizing just how much Janelle's sons have done in the past, because a lot of the other kids are there and yet they seem to be struggling. Not only that, how much more furniture and things of that nature they've accumulated over the years, because it shouldn't be this big of a headache when the other families actually have less children. Whereas Robin added 2. Why is this such a significant increase in things? And it's because you don't have Peyton, you don't have Gabe. No, you don't. You do have Gabe, but you kind of don't have Gabe. You don't have Hunter, you don't have Logan, and you don't have Garrison. I feel like those boys added a lot when it came to moving. And here you are, and you don't have the help that you need. But here's my other question. Cody, your dumb tail went and got your brothers and wasted time and took them to Arizona when what you should have done was you should have used them that day, filled up more than one truck, and brought it down there. This is the dumb stuff that they do. Okay, calm down. Cody says he's the only help because he doesn't have anybody else for Mary right now. And as he's thinking about this, he's looking around at his wives and he's thinking that, plural marriage doesn't really look good right now. And it sure doesn't. This is for the first time, I think, in a long time, a time where Cody and I agree on something. Robin is freaking out because she needs Brianna to take Aurora and give her a bath, because Robin doesn't do these things. I mean, she probably does, but it doesn't seem to me like with the nanny in tow that Robin was the one who made baths and did those things. I saw a lot of times where the various nannies and kids were helping her. She lets us know that she was up at 2 o'clock in the morning and she was just laying in bed saying to herself, why did we do this so hard? We could have hired some moving companies or something. And I think one of the reasons why you didn't hire moving companies is probably because TLC didn't give you the money for it. Because y'all put down a lot of money for all these rentals and all these other things. And Cody has already let us know that you only have enough funding to carry you over for a couple of months, which means that if you don't sell one of those houses, that you're going to be struggling. And it also means that you can't afford a rental. She's telling Aurora to get Ariella to eat something. She's like, make it social, make it fun. When I watch some of these scenes, I think, to the universe and to God, thank you so much that I didn't go through this, that my child was not picky at a young age when it came to food. I think he was so happy to get off the booby juice that he was like, yeah, give it to me. Now, as a teenager is where he's become, a lot more, particular about the foods that he eats, about the type of fish that is prepared and all those other things. But that's come with age. When he was young, I had it easy. Thank you. Okay. So Solomon says, Ariella, she's just tired and she, doesn't want to take a nap. She doesn't want to wake up from her nap. So, that's why she's so cranky. We see Christine and she's fussing at her kids. She says there's so much going on in every single house and none of us know what everybody else is doing. It's the day of the move and these people are still putting things in boxes. Robin still has areas that look like they haven't been touched. I see a whole china cabinet and a dining room table and all it's a lot going on that should have already been boxed up and fixed if you ask me. Cody says it's chaos. Christine says we're 15 minutes away from loading all of my stuff and we're taking about a half and an hour, at this point an hour, to get something that can only take 15 minutes to do. And Gwen says, I love her. Gwen says, I love her. But she expects things to be very fast, but they're not. Back at Robin's, she's still talking about how she needs Brianna. I need her. I need that girl. Can you tell her I need her now? I need her to take Ari so I can get Aurora to pack the computer. I need her. Seriously, y'all. I'm like, okay, Robin, we get it. You need her. She's doing it. I need her. So Dayton comes back and he's like, I told her she's packing up the bathroom. I was like, what do you mean she's packing up the bathroom? He says, I told her you need her. She said, okay. And she kept on packing. Robin gets frustrated, walks off. Cody is like, we're just starting the day and Christine is having a meltdown and I feel like I'm about to have a meltdown. And Gabe is checked out and Ari is having a meltdown. And I'm like, okay, Robin is having one too. He left that out, but immediately after that, we get the tears, or should I say the sounds. Please understand, that moment was a scene. Robin knows that the cameraman is right there behind her. After all, they've been following her all around the house. There is a door right here. There is a towel rack right here. So here's a door to what I'm assuming is a closet that I could easily walk in and close the door behind me, and the cameraman will not be able to capture the footage of me break down crying because I'm covering my face because I don't want you to see me crying. But yet I am here with the mic because we've seen Robin pull off her mic before. Here I am with the mic, and I'm crying into the mic on a towel rack that I'm putting all of my pressure on. Good thing she's not heavy because I've broken a towel rack before putting weight on it. But Robin is very particular in her performance, and she knows not to give too much. So she's on the towel rack, and she's crying, and she's crying, and she's crying. And at no point do we see her face, but she slides over to that door, goes through it, and closes it behind her. End scene. And she continues to cry behind the door. We're putting so much on the line here, she says. We're giving up our cul-de-sac. We're leaving kids behind. We're starting over with a place we really don't understand and know for sure if it's going to be good for us. We don't know how soon we'll be able to get back together. It's just really scary. Maddie comes over and suggests that they bring a truck or two down to Flagstaff now, that they stop whatever they're doing because they wanted to leave at one time and it's clear that they're not. And at this rate, the older adults are not going to be able to help them unload if they continue to take this long. So they decide to unload the freezer so that Maddie and them can go. 11:32, Maddie is ready to leave. Cody's saying, everybody's leaving. It looks like it's everybody leaving except for Robin, Dayton, and I. Forgetting that Mary is there too. What a shocker. It's 12:07 and Maddie and them leave, so he's stuck loading the heaviest trailer he ever loaded. Let Robin tell it she's been packing the longest, yet she still seems to have the same amount of work that she had already sitting there. And I'm confused. Confused is me. I am confusion. Because why, if you've been packing for as long as Christine, are you still packing? The other family left an hour ago. Cody wants time to say goodbye. He's angry because he wants to stop for a moment and remember how it felt when they moved in. The way that he's spoken about Vegas the last 2 seasons, I would think that he didn't want to stop and remember anything. If you want to remember it, watch one of the old episodes and remember it. That's the joys of being on television. You can go back and look at these things all the time and watch how your kids grew up and the way that your family was before you and that bird destroyed it. He wants to remember how magical it was for everybody. He says, here I am and I'm leaving and I don't have time to say goodbye. We get a bunch of flashbacks about all the good things that happened in Vegas. They arrive at Robin's future neighborhood and she is all smiles. They create a scene because there are so many trucks and the neighbors come out to figure out who they are. I don't understand small living because I've never been in an area where we move and the neighbors come and try to figure out who I am. Even when my mom, a couple years ago, when she bought her home and we helped her move, well, let's be clear, we helped her move out of the apartment, right? Put everything downstairs, did all that, had some people come over from church, help with that. Then we hired a moving company to handle moving her into the house because it was a lot of going up and down the stairs because she went from being on one level to being on a up and down, and there was more room. So we're going to have somebody else do this. We're going to have them set up your bed and all of that. That was smart. Best $900 I ever spent. I'm just saying. Happy move-in. But I'm being real here. Like, sometimes you gotta figure out what way to work things to get it done the way you gotta get it done. And her bed is heavy. Like, even now, we're going to have to get some people to come in there to move her bed around, because it's one of those beds that got all these drawers around it. And yeah, it's high. It's a heavy bed. I'm not tearing up anything trying to move it. But my point is, you do what you have to do in order to get it done. You start preparing, you start putting money to the side, you start putting funding to the side to make sure that you're capable of doing this move. Okay? Where was I at? Because I'm on a tangent. So the neighbors come. The neighbors see all these people and all these trucks, and they're like, who are these people? Who are these trucks? You know, what you got going on? And Aurora's like, this is exactly what I was nervous about. Robin says, you know, just wave and be nice because we want them to like us. And of course, Christine is extra loud. The various neighbors come to meet them. Most of them who do not know who they are as a family. They don't know anything about their show. They're just inquisitive neighbors. A lot more bolder than I would ever be. Maybe if I saw you while I was coming out and going to my car, I might say hello and something like that. That's what we did around here. That's how I got to know my neighbors that are around here. Well, some of them, because the newer ones, I don't know them. I just seen them in passing and said hello and kept it moving. But I'm on a whole bunch of tangents this review. Sorry. Yeah. Say hello, keep it moving. But these neighbors, they want to get to know who you are. So even though they're not introducing themselves as polygamists, Cody, while neighbors are still walking away, says, all of my children, come right here, please. Come right here. All of my children, come right here. I said, okay. All of my children come right here. Okay. I'm going to introduce you to Robin's house. Some of the kids, I would think, have already been in this house because there's a lot of stuff that's in the house, and some of them were there early on to unpack the trucks. They don't need an introduction. Just tell them where to move whatever other stuff they have to move. So everyone gets a tour of this massive house that Robin has. Gwen is me, because Gwen is like, as she's walking into this home. They have this massive house that's 2 times the size of what they already have. Looks more appealing. The gray color is nice. All those other things is bright and all that. Meanwhile, everybody else are getting homes that are significantly smaller. I don't understand why, if this was just going to be a rental, why Robin couldn't get a smaller home. Why would it have been a stretch for you to have Ariella and Brianna room together? I have parents that have a lot of siblings. And at one point, I know my mom said it was 5 of them in a bedroom. You do what you have to do. You're coming from out of a trailer, and yet here you are every single time with the biggest and the best of everything. Meanwhile, Janelle's kids are getting hand-me-downs. Savannah gets hand-me-downs from your daughter. And Janelle is being frugal. And Christine is trying to scrunch up money for surgeries and all these other things. And you keep getting the best of the best of the best. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of resentment here. Of course, there's going to be moms comparing. Of course, there's going to be kids comparing. Of course, Cody's going to want to spend more time in the bigger thing because much like Robin, Cody likes bigger things. Aurora is like her mother and starts crying because of just, the house is just so pretty. Next thing we know, Aspen, Mitch, Maddie, and Caleb have got to go. I wasn't surprised. I don't know whether they finished all the other houses or not. Either way, it's darker outside. They're leaving. Cody talks about, how hard them leaving is. We don't know when, we'll see each other again. Caleb goes to hug Cody and he starts crying. Cody's face is red, but just like his bird, I see no tears. And I said, oh, okay, he's pulling a Robin. He says, now he's realizing, what's going on, and it's hitting him that he, isn't going to be around his Axel and his kids and whatever else. And, they walk off, they say their goodbyes, they leave. I noticed that Mitch and Aspen didn't say much. They were out of there, hug, 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 goodbye, love y'all, peace. He then tells the kids, stand around. He says, now We have to sit here and we have to own our decision. We have been in exile for 7.5 years and we just moved out of it. What is he talking about? Where did this exile conversation come from? He said, unlike Vegas, we chose this. This is the first time that we've been able to do that in years. You chose to move to Vegas too, unless production told you to move to Vegas. What do you mean this is your first time choosing where you move? They say it feels like home already. Leon then starts crying, says we love you guys. Thanks for an awesome summer, but we got to go too. Audrey is crying too. Leon says, can we pray? They huddle and they pray. And as Cody's praying, for his kids and everything else, Cody thanks God for the beautiful exile that they had and how the family was able to be in exile and be close. Even his prayers are full of him trying to find a way to change the narrative. Leon is crying. Mary let us know that this is a big goodbye for Leon because they're going to be so far away. They embrace. I feel myself doing it now. And as Mary and Leon embrace, Leon, who we've been told previously is not affectionate with Mary, knowing that Mary craves physical touch and seeing their embrace, I started crying because as I was watching Mary say goodbye to Leon, I couldn't help but think, okay, this is about to be me in a year. And I have a feeling that once my boy is gone and he goes away to college, that this is going to be me. And this is what you want. Like, I feel like Mary had to be feeling a whole bunch of things during that period because this is what you want. You want them to be successful and you want them to move on to the next stage of life and you want them to be independent and do it without you. And for me, I think the moment for Mary was bittersweet because for this summer, she's actually had love in her house. She had Audrey and she had Leon and they were able to enjoy each other and reconnect. And despite Mary's shortcomings and, all the things that we all have felt that she's done wrong, one thing is clear, and that is that she loves her kid. And she loves, her bonus daughter. Well, not bonus daughter, her daughter-in-law. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say daughter. I apologize. I'm not trying to be offensive. She loves Audrey. She loves them, the both of them. Whew, I wasn't trying to, y'all know my heart. I'm not trying to misgender anyone. Audrey identifies as they and them, so I want to make sure that I'm sticking to that. Mary says that, they've been working on their relationship and it brought her joy to hear Leon say that they'll be okay. Even with the distance, things will be fine. Audrey then looks at Mary and says, thank you for everything. There aren't enough words to say thank you. Ariella then comes up to Mary as she closes the door and she says, Mom, what happened? And I never knew that she called Mary Mom, but I think it was just a slip up because later on she says, Mary, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Don't cry. Mary says that being so far apart and in rentals that you just never know what's going to happen. Ariella tells her it's all right. Don't be sad. And that's the end. This episode really put things in perspective for me about just how chaotic this family seems to be in a lot of ways. I really, really applaud the kids for being who they are and for becoming such great adults because I don't know how they did it, y'all. And I know that I'm not going to sit here and act like the moms didn't pour into them because they did. And being homeschooled, there are a lot of things that come from it. There's a reason why a lot of these kids are honor students and adjusted so well because Christine and Mary at one point, because she was homeschooling them too, did a phenomenal job with that. I just can't help but think of where they would be if they did not have the move to Vegas. I think that this move to Vegas set a lot of them free. But let me know your opinions down below. Please like the video if you haven't done so already. Also, subscribe. We are on the road to, at this point, 1,500. Had to lower my standards. But we're going to go to 2. I just have to be more realistic about how I'm jumping this thing up here. But if you have watched me a few times, just go ahead and hit that subscription button. It helps me, it helps the channel, it helps me get in the Sister Wives algorithm. I'm gonna have to jump into some more algorithms because at this point we don't have much longer in season 13, and you all can see we're going through this pretty quickly. If you have not done so already, check out some of the other things on the channel. We are currently reading Rachel Jeff's book. I can't think of the title right now. It's Warren Jeff's daughter, and she is doing a good job so far. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and watch that. At this point, I don't know what chapter we're on because I gotta read it. I know definitely that chapters 1 through 7 are up there. By the time this video is released, there will be another chapter up there. Kind of working, a little all over the place. Thank you so much. Check out the crime section. Check out It's Getting Real is that section. I'm going through some crime things. I haven't decided yet. I may incorporate some story times in there. Just trying to check some stuff out. I know you like to hear me tell some of my personal stuff sometimes, and I think that gives a way to do it without pouring it so heavily into these. But then again, I might do both because y'all know me. I just say what's, on my mind. That's why I need to stick to my notes. Just like right now, I don't have notes. And what am I doing? I'm rambling. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much. I don't say this often enough. There are thousands, I'm sure, maybe more than that, of people on YouTube that you could be watching, and yet some of you come here time and time and time again, and you show me love, and I appreciate it because you don't have to. Until next time.